Hey everybody, I don't normally do PowerPoints, but I figured this was the best way to cover the topic I wanted to cover with you all. For today, I wanted to start a big project, and I figured this was the best way to go about it. My idea was I was thinking of having you all help me design my first indie game. If you've been following me for a bit or listened to any of the live streams I've done in the past, I went to college for game design. Now, I'm not in the game design field, but I figured it would be nice to actually use some of these skills I learned and do something in my free time. And I thought, hey, I'm not the most picky. Why not get some input from you all and find out what kind of game you would be interested in playing and I wouldn't mind making. Maybe I can release it on Steam and, I don't know, start getting some material out there, and you all can enjoy a game I made. Sound fair? Now, I will give you all a list of options to vote on, and we'll put those votes in the comments of this video. And my goal is once a month I'll post a video update about what's going on, what the progress is, and every week I'm going to spend an hour working on this project. I'll give you updates every month, just to keep it consistent. You all know what you're looking for. You're not giving me any money. This is just a free project I'm doing. And I might post it, I don't know, when I make the game, depending on how it is, I might post it on Steam for like $5-10. It's not anything crazy, but something simple. Now, if you're all interested, great. If not, you don't need to worry. I'm just doing this for fun. So, I do want to cover some key points. Ground rules, I got 3 of them. Ground rule number 1. This is going to be a single player game. I can make a multiplayer game in the future, but for my first project, and I am a bit rusty, I am not going to delve into the depths of multiplayer co-op shenanigans. It's possible, but not now. Maybe we can add to it after we develop the base project. Point 2. I'm making this in Unreal Engine 5. I have experience in Unreal, and I have experience in Unity. I'm not as good in Unreal, but after some fiascos in prior years in Unity, you can look that up in your own news feed if you'd like. I just would rather make it an Unreal Engine. I feel more comfortable and I'd like to learn, and it's what I have installed. Lastly, I want to make this a 3D game. Unreal Engine is better suited for 3D projects. Yes, I can do it in 2D, but I'd rather not make it overly complicated. We'll just make it in 3D and keep it simple. That's what the engine was made for. Now, for my first of 6 questions, I will have you all vote on. You have 4 choices. For question 1, what kind of point of view are we working with? This is going to be how the camera is set up. How we're going to have you, the player, looking at the screen and perceiving this information. And this will affect some of my game design. You have option 1, a third person, over the shoulder camera view. Like in Skyrim, when you're zoomed out, you're following the character, that's in third person. Option 2, we have first person. Literally Call of Duty, Battlefield, Skyrim when you're zoomed in, even. You can see your hands, you see what you're holding. You don't really see your body. Option number 3, isometric top-down. Now, for those of you who don't know what isometric top-down is, think of Hades. The camera's set in a set spot. You're not necessarily looking on top of everything, but the camera's not turning. You get to perceive everything. So, and you have an understanding of what's going on. I mean, I might even make it do just purely top down, depending on how the game is being played. Okay? But that's your third option. And option number 4 is a side scroller. Super simple. We've had side scrollers exist before, and they can still keep being made now. So if you want to pause here, write down what you're thinking, take your time, and those are the 4 options I'm giving you. Alright? Now that you had a moment to think, for my second question we're going to cover, it's the genre. Now this is going to be what style of game we're playing. And this is definitely going to have a heavy impact of how I make this game. So, option 1, card-based. I like games like Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, miscellaneous random card game I picked up at a store, or found online. Like, people enjoy the heck out of Slay the Spire and Inscription. So, I have some experience playing card games. I have experience making fun random custom Yu-Gi-Oh cards for fun. Why? I get bored. But I haven't coded one, but I've done this for random projects in real life for fun, so we can always experiment around with that. Option 2 is narrative. Think of a game like No, I'm Not Human. Not Human. You don't have many actions you can do, but we're overall focused on story, maybe some of the graphics of it, and yes, I'm not going to make multiple million ending choices, but I do believe that your individual choice as a player should have an impact on the game. Like, if you decide to punch this guy in the face, it should affect your game. Like, alright, cool, now he doesn't like you, or now he is going to fight you now. He's going to fight you, and you have to make a decision if you want to do something else, but you might have to go out of your way to repair that relationship. I don't believe in every ending should lead back to the same ending no matter what. It is a game, it is a style, and it's a fair style where everything will eventually lead to the same road at the very end of the game. I don't like it. I would rather your player choice actually mean something when we play a game. There's option 3, which is a platformer. I put Hollow Knight in here because, yes, I could have put Mario, I could have put Sonic, but I like Hollow Knight better because it can show that even as a platforming game, you could do something like combat, there could be weird skills, different things, and it's not just I am Mario and I jump and I got this power up and now I can use this ability, but when I get hit the power up's gone. Yes, I can do something like that, and that would be very simple, and I might do something like that if we pick platformer, but I'd like to also keep it consistent and leave it room for interpretation and room for experimentation. Option 4 is puzzle. I put Escapist 2, just because you want to escape the prison, you have a couple ways to do it, but no matter what, you're trying to escape the prison, there's a set way to do it, and there's like, I can dig a hole out from jail, I can dress up as a news reporter and then walk out the door, something like that. Or you can do a full-on prison break and fight your way out. I like this as an idea, and there's multiple different ways we can make all these games. Option 5, we can do racing. I don't have the most experience with that. I played a good bit of racers, and I'm sure there's plenty of reference material out there that we can draw upon to make a racing game. This is probably going to be the one that would give me the most experimentation and research, so if you're interested in that, we can do that. Option 6 is a roguelike. I've handled random generation in multiple different regards. I've handled arrays and how to search them within a set amount of time, and we can keep some aspects simple but still keep the core gameplay what you'd want. I've been playing more roguelikes lately, and I wouldn't mind making one. Option 7 is a shooter. Unreal Engine, from what I understand, was made with some shooters in mind, and there's definitely plenty of assets out there. There's even a template for a shooter, so we can always use these resources we have to make one. And I think it would be fun. Lastly, for option 8, we put tower defense. I like Bloons Tower Defense. It's a great, fun game, in my opinion. And I've also made some 3D tower defense games. Well, a 3D tower defense game. It was for a school project, and I think I can actually expand on that and make a feasible project if you all were interested. Those are the 8 genres I'm going to put up for vote in this first project. I might, again, when we do future projects, I'll probably change these things around, but for this project, these are the options I'm presenting for you all to pick. Take a moment to think of what you like. And now that you've thought about it, keep that written down, and we're going to go to the next one. So this next one is not as picturesque, but question number 3 is difficulty. I have 3 options for you. Option 1 is easy. This can be a very simple, casual game. The idea is anyone can open it up. You can relax in your chair. You can be laying in bed. You can just be laying on the couch, upside down. And no matter what, you can still lose. But it's not going to be a hard game that's going to make you panic. You might even just play and go, oh, I beat the level already? Okay, well, I'm on the next one. It's supposed to be a casual experience that you can just enjoy, turn on at will. Option 2, I got normal. I'm going to treat it like a normal game. There's going to be parts that are easy, parts that are hard, parts that are going to make you want to tear your hair out, and parts that are like, well, I did it already. And it's parts in between. It's just a casual game. It's what you expect. You go in it, you open it up, and it's supposed to be what it's advertised. It's a fair, consistent challenge. And lastly, option number 3, hard. And when I say hard, you can equate it to a lot of things. You can think Dark Souls, you can think your college test, or that you're like, I need to do this, or it's gonna be bad, or trying to approach your date and you don't know what to say. But in my mind, I think hard. When I think of a hard game, I think of a game that doesn't necessarily need to be unforgiving, but requires you to understand the mechanics of the game. It requires you to pay attention, and it requires you to, if you don't do this mechanic within a certain amount of time or in a certain way, you are probably going to be punished, or you might lose the level and die and be forced to restart from the last checkpoint. I think that it should be annoying, but not unforgiving. Like, I do think it should be punishing, but not enough to make you uninstall. So those are the 3 options I present to you for difficulty, and after we do this project, I can maybe reword it, but I think this is the best way I can present that. So take your pick now, give you a moment before we move to question number 4. So question number 4, I'm going to need you to think a little bit, but I have the game world. And when I say the game world, I'm more so referring to how I'm designing the levels. Not necessarily about the environment. I'm talking about level design, in a sense. Do you want me? You have 4 options here, but option 1 is level based. Think of games like Angry Birds or Lego Star Wars. Yeah, we'll group Lego Star Wars in there. The idea is you're in a hub menu, and until you enter that hub menu, you have to pick until you can't leave that hub menu until you pick a level that you're going to play. So if I opened up level 1, I'm going to get the same experience. It's a set, pre-made level, and your goal is to beat the level. And when you beat the level, you're brought back to the hub. Simple, easy, done. we can, this is very easy to do, and I've done this many a times. So that's not anything new for me. Option 2, we have a linear game. The idea is you open it up, and you go from point A, and your goal is to get to point B, and there's nothing really stopping you from doing nothing but just go from point A to point B. The whole game is getting to the end. And that's it. Now, option 3 is where you might need to think a bit, but I'm going to call it branching linear. So it's still a linear game. Your goal is to get from point A to point B, but at random points, like think about, let's say Borderlands. I want to reference the first Borderlands game. You are in the Arid Badlands, and your goal is to get to, let's say, the vault. On your way to get to the vault, on your way to get to the vault, you go forward and you start doing more missions. And eventually you come across a new area. It's not going to take you to the vault, but you can go into this area, do some more missions, do a couple puzzles, get some rewards, and then come back and go back on your journey to the vault. So maybe you eventually hit Skag Gully, or you hit there was a specific area, I used to have this memorized, but I don't anymore, but you hit another part of the map, you get like 6 to 8 new quests, you do them, and then you can come back and go back to the main story once they're done. Nothing stopping you. But no matter what, the game ends once you get to that final destination and you get to that final boss. Now, for option number 4, and this is the final option, open world. Now, open world has a lot you can think about, and I'm not getting into a project like The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, or GTA 5, or Skyrim. We're not doing that. That is not the project we are doing. When I say open world, I still imagine a game that's point A to point B, linear story, but the idea is I have a set area. Let's say you're in a giant open area, Hyrule. You're in the open area of Hyrule. Your goal is to get to the castle to go save Zelda from Ganondorf. However, in that area, I put 12 levels, but I had to make them in a way so no matter which level you go to, it's still just as challenging as the other, but it's challenging in a different way. That way, if, say, Link, the player, hit level 2 at the very beginning of the game, it's still just as challenging as Link, the player, who is hitting it at the last level of the game. No matter what, you can approach them, you might be able to skip them, but there's going to be 12 or so levels, or more or less, depending on how the game is made. That is how I envision an open world, and that is the best way I can pitch it to all of you to help you understand what I mean when I say an open world game. All these games are going to be inherently linear, but how you have me go about it will change my game design. Those are the 4 options I present to you, but no matter what, that is what I'm offering. Now that you've made your choice, I'm going to give you a second to make your choice. We're going to go on to question 5, and that is art style. Now, when I say art style, this can mean a couple things to a couple different people. Artists in chat, you are free to get angry at me. But when I say it, I'm referring to the realism and the detail of my models and how detail specific they're going to be. Now, for the first one, I am putting realistic, and that one I am going to have I'm putting Superhot in here. And I think Superhot's a good representation because there's a lot of detail to unpack when you are playing that game. Like, you see the arms move, you can break the legs, you can cut, like, you have a lot of physics and a lot of details in the background to pay attention to. Like, you hit the legs, you have the bullets, you have the objects, they're all going all at once. And there's multiple limbs, there's lots of movement, lots of animation, and a lot of things to unpack and uncover here. Now for option 2, I have cartoony. Now this is a scene from Roblox. I don't know what Roblox game or what creator. I just know I saw this in Google Images and thought that's probably what I'm referring to. These are going to be like very simple, very basic, but detailed enough that it looks presentable and it looks nice. The reason I'm saying this is, again, I am a solo indie dev doing this in my free time. So that is the second option of 3 I'm presenting to you. Option 3 is from another YouTube creator, Danny2, who made a game. He's worked on Carlson, and I think he's still working on Carlson. Now I'm calling this the low poly option, and I'm not saying anything bad about it. Comparing it to Superhot, there's not as many limbs, there's not as many details, and in scenes where, like, you're fighting the big brother to Billy, it's a giant robot that goes splat, but you can see the animations are set in place. Maybe it'll jerk around. It has a bit more animation than basic, like I am a stick figure in a T-pose. But it's simple enough that I'll make the project, and it's enough to get the point across and make the project runnable and enjoyable. No matter what, I want to put detail in everything I do. And Danny2 here is another YouTuber who I think kind of inspired me to do this a little bit. Not necessarily game design as a whole, but maybe game design on YouTube for you all to see. So that's why I'm presenting these 3 as options for you all to select from. Now I'm not going to give you too much time, but feel free to make your choice before I take you to the 6th and final question. And that's going to be the theme. Now, the theme for this one is I want to decide what kind of combination of art style, background, environment, this might even shift the gameplay with how I do different mechanics, and what kind of coat of paint we're doing. I have 9 options for you on this one, so this is going to be probably the longest slide here. We have cozy. I pulled up Slime Rancher. It's very cozy, it's kind of cutesy, and I thought it would be a cool option to provide for you all to enjoy. Maybe you want a hard game that's just very cozy, so you can kind of relax while you're sweating your bullets trying to beat a level. Second, I have fantasy. I put a picture of Adventure Time. It's for the show Adventure Time. It's any fantasy. There's so much different fantasy projects out there. Lord of the Rings, Skyrim. You can maybe even list Harry Potter or Percy Jackson, but I would consider those more urban fantasy to a degree. But there's so many fantasies out there, and you can really kind of go anywhere with a fantasy. So it's always a tried and true classic to put in here. Option 3 is film noir. This is more so personal preference. I just think it would be really cool to make a black and white style game. I don't see many people do that, and I think it'd be I just really love the vibe, and I think it'd be very interesting to see that. Option 4, I put horror. I put Phasmophobia. There's these guys, they're going to the prison. Horror can be so many things. There's Dead by Daylight, there's Jason Voorhees, there's Freddy Krueger, Alien Isolation. There's so much you can do with horror, and I think it'd be interesting to take a crack at that. And option 5, I put modern. When I'm referring to modern, I just mean you're in modern Earth. It's a modern set piece. We're playing this game, and we're gonna have some kind of modern aesthetic. There's a lot you can do with real life architecture and what you as a human know versus you as a video game player, and it would be cool to see how that real life knowledge intersects with your gameplay. Option 6, post-apocalyptic. I put Fallout 3 in there. I love Fallout, and I love very post-apocalyptic scenarios, and yes, I could have put Fallout 4, but I think Fallout 3 really accentuates my point of like the art style I'm going for. And yes, I could have put Fallout New Vegas, which a lot of you are going to say is probably the better game. I know a lot of people love Fallout New Vegas. I just think Fallout 3 better showcases the post-apocalyptic feel from here versus a desert wasteland. Now, well, yes, this is deserted and a wasteland, but still, my point being made is I think this picture would do a bit better for my presentation. Option number 7, sci-fi. Star Wars. There's so much you can do with sci-fi. My username is Blue Star Commander. I'm gonna put sci-fi in there. I love Star Wars. There's Star Trek. There's Doctor Who. There's, oh my god, Helldivers too. There's Alien. There's so many things that are sci-fi, and you can just start making up words and go, oh, it's the energy repulsor cannon, and people will go with it. You don't need to think hard. There's lasers. Option 8, we have steampunk. There's not many people, I think, that do steampunk. I could be wrong. And I just think steampunk's a fun word, and I like the idea of using a lot of different gears and gadgets and cool older architecture with like a Tommy gun and hand. I just think it'd be neat to see some more steampunk stuff out there. And if you pick it, it's going to give me a little bit more work, but I wouldn't mind. I think it'd be fun. And then lastly, but not least, the last option I'm presenting to all of you is superhero. And yes, I put Power Rangers in here. Yes, I've been watching a lot of Power Rangers lately, but I just think this is the best picture to present to you because they're so vibrant and colorful. Like, I could have put My Hero Academia, I could have put Marvel, I could have put DC, I could have put countless different superhero stuff. But I think Power Rangers best illustrates what I mean when I say that. It's a very colorful, very vibrant. When you see it, it's going to clash with the background, and it's going to stand out. Yes, it'd be like an urban fantasy, and I'll combine urban fantasy with a bit of modern, a bit of superhero, but no matter what, I think all these games are going to be fantasy in some fashion. And Power Rangers, I think, does the job perfectly. I just gave you a lot of options to pick from, but these are the themes I'm willing to go with for this first project, and I would really appreciate your input. Now, now that I've given you those 6 questions, and I'm hoping you all took notes of what answers you want to give to them, I am going to present to you how I'd like you all to submit your votes. So, I'm doing this once a month. I'm going to post a game update video, and I am going to do 1 hour of work on this every week, and then I'll review it for that one video every month. Every other week, I'll be doing a podcast, which will probably be coming out next week after this. And I might talk about the game. I might answer questions you all have. But until that third podcast episode, I'm not going to tally your votes or decide what game is going up until then. So you have a month to make your decisions for this project. Voting, I want you to put those 6 points in the comment section right below this video, and take those 6 points, and on the right, write your choice. I gave you an example on the left of what you're hovering, and on the right, I wrote that same comment on another YouTube video with my own choices as an example. Again, those aren't the choices I'm going to pick for myself. I'm not voting. That'd be very biased. But I just picked 6 random points on there, and I said, heck with it. First person, card-based game. I want it to be hard. I want it to be level based. It's gonna be cartoony, and I'm making it a fantasy world and have fun. That's it. That's all I want you all to do. Alright? Can we agree to have you comment? If you want to have a choice and a participating vote on what this game will be, leave that comment down below. And I will be reading every comment on this video. Alright. Thank you all for your time, and I hope to see you in the comments.